Right then, let's have a look at a couple of things that Ten Hag is definitely going to have to fix when he comes in to Manchester United. And some of these are urgent. If he's going to be a success, and let's be honest, we all hope he's here as a success. We hope he sees out that first contract, gets an extension on the back of some real positive stuff on the pitch. But I want to see him be here for 10 years, because if he's here for 10 years, then we've turned a corner, we've had some success, and this is Erik Ten Hag's club. And I think for him to get to that point, there's a number of things he's without a doubt going to have to do. I'm going to start with the wage bill. United's wage structure, Mr. Woodward, Mr. Judge, luckily now both fucked right off, has been a massive problem for the club. When you look at how well run Liverpool are, the fact that they're umming and ahhing over giving comfortably Premier League Player of the Year Mo Salah an extension at 29 years of age, for asking what he's probably worth, it shows you that is a club that knows what it's doing. Manchester United, in the last week, we've heard rumours of extensions for Jesse Lingard. We've heard of extensions for Paul Pogba. Cut your losses. They've shown in the last few years that they can't be relied upon to put in consistent performances for United, certainly not to the level that you've just seen from Mo Salah. Why are we offering him contracts that will make Mo Salah cry into his cornflakes in the morning? Because both players would probably be getting... Even Jesse Lingard probably get more than what Mo Salah's on now, which is ludicrous, isn't it? And that's the problem. You've got the likes of Dean Henderson's like the 4th or 5th highest paid goalkeeper in the league. Doesn't even play. You've got Ronaldo on 26.5 million a year, which is more than De Bruyne, who is the only non-Manchester United player in the top 5 highly paid players in the Premier League. De Gea's next, 19.5. Then Sancho on 18. Where's he going after this? I think he's a player with a hell of a lot of prospect, but giving such a young player such a fat contract, you only go up the way. You don't go down the way. Players don't get pay cuts. They only get pay rises. So that 75 million you've invested into him, unless you want to lose that 75 million, he's going to have to get a pay rise. Poor management. Varane, 17.6 million. Arguably someone that might be worth what he is on this list with what he came from. This cannot carry on. There are too many players on big wages, and honestly, those are the top end. You're talking Phil Jones on 130 grand a week, Jesse Lingard on over 100 grand a week, Tony Marshall on 250, Luke Shaw on 250, Rashford on 200. A lot of these players are not turning out week in, week out. The likes of Mata and Matic, over 100 each, being moved on now. But look how many players Manchester United have got over 6 figures a week that don't even play. Can we start with that? At least Sancho plays, and De Gea plays, and Ronaldo plays. At least there's a mitigation there. United have probably got millions a week not even playing. Ten Hag needs to start a clear out. And he probably needs to get some of those top earners off the wage bill as well. One, to free up some funds, but also to give him some incentive to work into. Players like De Gea could go, and you could bring in a better goalkeeper, certainly for the money he's on every year. Ronaldo will soon be gone, whether he does another season or no other seasons here. The clock is ticking on Ronaldo. You're probably not going to have to replace someone on $500,000. God, I hope not. I don't know who in world football would be worth Manchester United paying $500,000 a week for. I think I'd rather have 2 players on 200 and 1 on 100 that were playing in the first team and being productive than 1 on 500. You know, Mata, Jones, apart from Mata's performance this week, he's not been utilised. He's not been seen. That money needs to be used elsewhere. The players that are getting out the door, and the more of them it is, the easier it's going to be for us to move forward, to sign top players that aren't demanding as much, and people that are going to be actually productive in the first team. With players like Sancho and Varane that are on absolute top dollar at the moment, I think you've got to find a way to be honest with them. Bruno Fernandes got a contract extension with a relatively sensible price, considering what he's achieved on a personal level, at least, since he joined the club. Hopefully negotiations are going a bit more in that sort of direction. And maybe Sancho's next renewal is a bit more bonus-based, and a little bit less top heavy, I don't think anyone would have an issue with that. If United was giving out fat salaries that were just completely linked to performances and trophies, fucking United fans would be buzzing with that. Yeah, fine, do what you want. Another thing that Ten Hag needs to fix in a massive way, and when you look at the two teams that are setting the bar in the Premier League, is disunity. United's dressing room, according to players in the dressing room, is a fucking mess. It's toxic. There's cliques. And since Ollie's sacking, there's been loads of reports coming out backing that, explaining that, moaning about that in the United dressing room. Obviously, we saw Paul Scholes come out and saying, Jesse's told him this. Whether it's via the energy that Ten Hag brings himself, whether it's by getting rid of the players that are causing the disharmony, whatever it is, Ten Hag needs to come in and rule that dressing room with an iron fist, set lieutenants underneath him that are going to keep it on the straight and narrow. To my mind, Jordan Henderson's the only player that's been there 10 years in the Liverpool dressing room. And you, like me, you might not be mega impressed with his ability. But he's a leader. And he's someone that's at least got authority within that dressing room to set the tone and to set the discipline. Who's setting the discipline at Manchester United? Who's setting the tone at Manchester United? When you listen to the ex-players, even the likes of Wayne Rooney, when Memphis Depay turned up dressed like a matador driving a Rolls Royce, Wayne Rooney pulled him and said, "What are you fucking doing?" Now, to me, dress how you want to fucking dress. And if you can afford a Rolls Royce, you should drive your fucking Rolls Royce. I'm not sure if I feel the same way about academy players driving whatever they want. But a first team player that's been bought for millions of pounds, if he can afford that fucking car, drive that car. But the standards at the time, Wayne Rooney pulled him. Wayne Rooney said, "Don't fucking drive that car to training again." Now, Wayne Rooney was definitely someone who fell foul of the rules, probably several times during his Manchester United career, I would like to bet. Rio talks about a time when Phil Neville shown up with a Ferrari. And he said they tried to fucking smash balls at it. He said never came back in the Ferrari ever again. I find that fascinating. I'm not sure what that culture is, or if it's a mentality of don't ever think you fucking made it. Why are you driving a Ferrari here? They can probably buy fucking 10 Ferraris if they want half of these lot, the amount of money they're on. But that sort of dressing room discipline, that sort of all pulling together in the same way, Liverpool clearly have it. Players who aren't willing to work get fucking launched. Same at Manchester City. At United, we just see leaks from them saying that they're not happy that they're training late. Cry me a fucking river, lads. You need to train. We've seen Ralph give them loads of time off in between games. Didn't fucking do a thing for them. Entitled fucking pricks. A lot of them. They need people in there that are going to make them fucking work and pull them together and put them on the fucking straight and narrow, all pulling in the same direction. And Ralph needs to be able to execute that to have any fucking hope of success here. The next up that I think Ralph needs to fix is a lack of quality. The quality has to improve. And there's a few different ways that Ten Hag is going to set out and do this, I think. One, selling the players, obviously we've touched on that. It's players in the squad who, no matter how much confidence, how much coaching you give them, they're just not going to be fucking good enough, and those players have got to go. And then two, there's coaching. Some of these players, given direction and a little bit of technical coaching, will improve. Ten Hag is said to be a masterful coach. Pep's called him top class. Even Klopp says he's one of the most exciting coaching talents in world football. There's clearly something about him. And I think he's going to be looking at players, you would hope, Garnacho, Hannibal, but maybe even Rashford. Maybe even Fred. And thinking, I can remold them to what I need to get out of them. Youngsters such as Garnacho, McNeil, absolute blank canvas for Ten Hag coming in. Them players should be rubbing their hands together going, get me on that training pitch with them. Mengi as well. All of you lads need to be going, let me at them. And sometimes you're going to have to go and buy players. And he will no doubt buy players. Hopefully he's going to get some bargains, especially if you've got the likes of Paul Mitchell coming and joining the club. Hopefully he is. We can identify some talent. That's a bit of an unexpected surprise. Someone who just plays just the right way for what Ten Hag's looking to do. And some of those players have a massive impact on what's going on the pitch. But the lack of quality at the moment is a big thing. As is lack of identity. I'm very confident the identity is coming. Since Fergie retired, United have either lacked identity or the identity has been negative. Whether it's counter-attacking only or whether it's in the big games, we just try and not lose. Moyes was hard to pin down because it was Moyes, and Van Gaal's was maybe a little bit on the boring side. Ten Hag's style of play is very much that seems to fit the mould of Premier League top sides. Tuchel, Klopp, Pep, all player possession, pressing style of football, and it works and it's good. This identity should therefore work at United, even if it takes a long time to fully implement and obtain the players to execute it. I think having an identity makes it easier to identify and sign players as well. You know what you need in a very specific position because you've been training everybody to do it. When you play off the cuff, it's a little bit difficult then to identify the positions that are going to improve it. But if you know what you're trying to achieve and you've got a plan to achieve it and it's just breaking down on this thing here, fix that thing. And that's where having an identity can help. It's not everything. Hopefully, Rangnick has put the players through the ringer enough to know that he's got a little black book of just fuck these lot off names. But maybe he's got a page in there with some names on it that he thinks, do you know what? This lot might be worth working with. Give them some identity. And I would say lastly, lack of a long-term vision. And it's linked to identity, but no one at Manchester United in recent years has been given the length of time required to have any kind of long-term plan since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. And mostly because they've not earned it, right? Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is our longest existing manager and he didn't last 3 years. If Ten Hag gets to 3 years, he's clearly been a success. The Glazers seem to have realised that the only way United can be a success is to create a similar plan to that one that Liverpool have created, where it took a little bit of time. They had a bit of spending wisely and then it came to the boil. Now, obviously that's difficult to do. If it was easy, everyone would have just done it. But it's probably a better plan than the trying to just make a superstar signing and see if we can win something on the back of that. Because it's so strong at the very, very top of the Premier League that finding just one or two signings that are going to elevate you above, 3 or 4 very, very good teams on a European level, it's just fucking unrealistic at best and deluded at worst. You need to have a clear strategy now of really fuck the players off that aren't going to be productive, really back the manager to do that. I think you're going to see a lot of youngsters given opportunities just from a financial point of view, but let's hope that we bring in some bargains. I don't want to hear talk of us signing Rice for 100 million. I don't want to fucking see Harry Kane linked anywhere near Manchester United. Fuck that noise. Those 2 players would obliterate our budget. And for that sort of cash, you could bring in 5 or 6 players. And I'll tell you this for free, lads. We need 5 or 6 players. Harry Kane and Declan Rice take us nowhere fucking closer to the title than signing Pinky and fucking Perky. We need an overhaul, and an overhaul needs a weight of players and a number of players and just a fucking number of people through the door. You want to change a dressing room culture? It takes half a dozen or more, not 2 more blokes. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you're new around here, hey, just do us a favour. Give the video a like. Is that all right? Subscribe if you're new. Hit notifications so you don't miss any. Doing 2 videos a day, and I'm going to try and see how long I can fucking ride this until I get bored of talking. All right? So if you like that sort of thing, hit subscribe. Hey, thank you for watching the video. If you are new around these parts, then don't forget to subscribe. My channel is proudly supported by my community on Patreon. If you'd like to get a little bit of extra content, a Discord group, meetups, five-a-side games, weekly podcasts, behind the scenes, and even an occasional bit of transfer news as and when I get it, then for the price of a pint, you can show your appreciation for the content that we make and get some goodies for doing so as well. Check the link in the description or click the button right here. You'll also find all of my socials here too if you want to follow me on any of those platforms. Nice one.